Hey everyone, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in to this pick a card reading and bringing your positive energy and beautiful vibes to Soul Embers. I appreciate you. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Andrea. I hope you find something within this reading, within this channel helpful, and you choose to stick around. Everything you guys need to know about me and the channel's in the description box below, so check it out. So I woke up really early this morning and I decided to meditate while it was very, very peaceful. And instead of doing any planned readings today, I kind of threw that out of the window. I was being guided to just channel some collective energy and see and tune in and see what the collective is feeling, what the dominating energies are out there. So I decided to go with a pick a card reading, but with specifics. There were specific types of feelings and energy that I was channeling. So I happened to come across cards that reflected that frequency that I was tuning into, all that energy, and I bring it to you today. Hopefully there's some messages here that really resonate for you and can help you redirect, reset, reassess, whatever it is you need to do. So I have 3 cards here. You are able to pick a card based on what you're currently feeling and being guided to choose which is best for you. I will put slides between each card so that you can find it easier to navigate to the card that you choose. So what I've got here, the first card I have is direction. I was feeling some scattered energy as I was meditating earlier, and kind of one leg in, one leg out, one foot in, one foot out, that type of thing, uncertainty, and so direction was a card that really called for me. So if you're feeling that, you pretty much are decided, but there's still some self-doubt, this would definitely be the card for you. So first one is direction. The second card I've got here for you is the dark. I was getting a lot of mist. I was seeing a lot of mist, and I was seeing I was getting a headache trying to see. My eyes were hurting as I was trying to see through this mist that I was visualizing as I was tuning into some of your energies. So some of you may be feeling that you're in the dark or not quite sure what lies ahead, and there is this element of wanting to be prepared for what lies ahead so that you can respond to it from a place of security and safety and make the best decision for yourself. Properly prepare, right? So those of you that might be feeling that there's something that's either been hidden from you there and you don't know what move to make yet, you don't know where you stand on the situation, or that you're not quite certain what tomorrow brings and it's putting you in a state of anxiety, then this would definitely be the card for you. And the third card I chose was thinking. And as you can see, this card perfectly reflects scattered thoughts, not quite being able to grasp any particular thought long enough and work through it to process it and plan. You're at odds. You can't make the puzzle pieces connect. Things aren't adding up, basically, and you're doing your head in. You're going over and over certain scenarios, obsessively thinking about them, trying to understand certain situations, and it's burning you out. It may also be causing a false sense of reality, and if that's the case, then this is the card for you. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you guys a moment to just choose the card that better resonates for you, either based on what I just described or just based by what you're most drawn to. And then I'm going to start with the card direction, and I will put a slide between the rest of them as well. Okay, so let's get started. I'll start with direction, and I'll pop the card up here for you. So those of you that chose direction, the actual message on the card says the answers are within you as to where you go next. And this is something I'm sure you've heard thousands and thousands and thousands of times. But when there is a lack of confidence in a situation or your ability to undertake whatever lies ahead and know that you're going to be okay, even though you know what the answers are within you, it still doesn't mean that it's easy, and it still doesn't mean that those answers, we easily come to harmony with those answers. We don't resist them. We don't suppress them. We don't ignore them. So our intuition is telling us what's right, but there is a journey that we need to follow between where we're at and how we're feeling and our own fears to getting to, coming to eye to eye with our intuition. A lot of the times we question our intuition, we test it. Even though it's telling us which way we need to go or what direction we need to go in, we test it and we want to prove it right or we want to prove it wrong. We hope that we're proving it wrong, but at the same time, we want to be right, because when we prove our intuition wrong, then we really question our own connection to ourselves and any sense of naivety or, just missing the signs and the synchronicities and misinterpreting them. So it's much worse when we feel that we got it wrong and it felt so right, rather than when we got it right but we hoped that it was wrong. Okay, so I hope that makes sense to you. So when it comes to whatever situation you're currently in, so this can apply to your love life, it can apply to your work, it can even apply to a new cycle and a new life stage. You might be feeling that you're lacking the passion and the desire to pursue something in particular. But when generally I find that when we lack the direction in our own life, and what brings us passion, it kind of filters through to every other aspect. So those of you that could potentially be feeling that way would really benefit from doing some, work with the sacral chakra, really doing some breathing exercises, breathe some space into the sacral chakra, our spiritual center of feeling. I feel passion, and our center of self-worth. And we all have dreams that we want to accomplish, let's say, but it is our own sense of worthiness that gives us that fortitude that we need, or that determination that we need, that we can achieve it, that we're worthy of receiving it. And it all stems from what feels right for us and ignites the passion. And then we start to, tune into a frequency and sit in a vibration which is extremely attractive. They're very uplifting, very charming, and very influential. And so every area of our life seems to expand in a positive way that helps us along that path to our success once we have found that direction. So let's break it down and let's have a look and see, what could this potentially pertain to? Because I will get specific messages, I would imagine. Okay, so, it feels like you guys have really been working really difficult on getting to this end result, getting to this goal. I feel that you have sacrificed, that you have really tempered and cooled down your impulsive nature. Those of you that I'm connecting with may have, in the past really just responded to impulsive feeling and jumped on that impulsive feeling to see where it would take you. That can be very strong. That can be very it can fill you with a lot of those hot and heavy endorphins. It can really lift you very quickly. It's almost like a drug, that feeling. But what often happens is we can miss those signs and synchronicities that we need to slow down and pay attention. We may miss vital opportunities for conversation, or vital opportunities to, take something of value that we can learn that can further help us on that journey. And so we get so caught up in this feeling of passion and desire that, we don't allow things to be processed and allow ourselves to explore how we really, really feel about what this is going to bring into our future. So at this stage, I feel what's happening though is you have recognized this, guys. You've really recognized the need to, pull back your energy, take it slowly, be a little bit more analytical, allow things to pass through your head space as well as your heart space, as well as your spiritual space, to see whether something is aligning with you or not. So from there, you're able to determine which is the best direction for you. I feel those of you that I'm connecting with have really exercised control, have really exercised strength, and really pulling back on those base desires of giving in for the sake of, well, if I do this, then maybe I'll get the result that I'm looking for. Now it's more like I'd rather sit with and analyze, or, allow this to unfold, give it space for it to unfold a little bit more naturally, so that I can see whether or not it actually aligns with me. How do I actually feel about that? Is it taking me in the direction that I want to go in? Does this feel like it's going to get me to that end goal? So either you've recognized it and you're about to embark on this journey, and if so, Spirit is telling you you're taking the best approach. Either you're in the midst of it, or you need to apply this so that the direction becomes clearer to you. So that inner voice gets a little bit louder and allows you to direct yourself through the place of what feels right, not just what feels good and in the moment, not from a place of scarcity, not from a place of fear of loss. Okay, so if there are those of you out there that kind of have the idea that things aren't going in the direction you want them to go, and you know that there are changes that need to be made in your environment, whether it be work, home, or even a potential love interest, but there is fear that's holding you back from making those decisions, which is only moving you further and further away from what is true to you and what's your real life, living your life the way you want it, and it's something you'd like to work on, feel free to reach out. I'd love to help you work through that. My contact details for sessions are in the description box below. So let's break this down and let's have a look and see. This is gorgeous. So you know what? Okay, give me 1 second. I just want to pull one more card out. Oh, I'm loving this. I'm absolutely loving this. So, all you know is where you were is not where you want to be anymore. And you're looking at what is going to fill your soul and what's going to fill your spirit and what's going to bring you happiness and what's going to nurture you. You're really applying self-love, taking care of yourself, opening up your heart space by nurturing and feeding the heart space, by, spoiling yourself, by doing things and practicing self-love. And self-love doesn't necessarily only have to mean, having regular catch up with the girls or the boys. Self-love could also mean making those difficult decisions to protect your energy, yet still be able to receive love. Okay, so having that heart space open so that you can not only give to yourself, but you can receive from others. So giving is not necessarily just to others. It's about giving to self also. And I feel that, you're really putting in the work. If you're feeling that this direction is not opening up for you, Spirit wants you to know, continue practicing self-love. Continue nurturing yourself, nurturing and following what makes you feel good, what brings you feelings of gratitude, what brings laughter to your life, growing in those areas and giving, by being in that energy, you're automatically reciprocating the energy of love to others because you're practicing self-love, and it's opening you up to attracting the same type of people that are in that same vibrational field, or in that same, I should say, frequency. Okay. Now, there is an element here where being open and communicating your standards is going to be of importance to you. And this is something you may already be practicing, you guys, but in order to get from A to B, in order for this direction to become a lot clearer for you and making those decisions, letting go of fear, communication of your standards is going to really clear the way. Let the people that are not aligning with you drop away so that you can create space for others. I'm feeling like there is a new cycle starting here. And that's where the fear might lie. That by you communicating your standards, maybe they won't align with certain people that are important to you and you're fearing that loss. But in what I'm sensing and the energy that I'm channeling, you're only prolonging. That's all you're doing right now. So becoming an effective communicator, and rather than becoming argumentative, just expressing where you stand, how you feel, what you want is enough for others to feel whether they're for you or whether they're not, whether the job is for you or whether it's not. It just becomes clearer. The direction becomes clearer and clearer as you go. And obviously there are always going to be losses when we get off that fence and we pick a side. And this time, Spirit is saying, pick your side. Pick your side and see who wants to be part of that juicy lifestyle that you're trying to create. So communication, the message I'm getting here, communication is key, but it does not need to be resentful. It does not need to be argumentative, because that only brings about feelings that are not, that don't complement acts of self-love, or they don't attract people of that same frequency. They only attract that vibration of the problem. So approaching a situation in an argumentative tone will only bring you an argumentative result. It puts you in a solution of in the vibration of the problem, and you'll only continue to focus on the problems rather than the solutions. So I hope you guys found that helpful. Please do comment below. I love reading your comments. If this is something that you're experiencing and you want to break it down a little bit further, you want some more guidance on this, you wanted to explore these feelings a little bit further, how to actually become become effective in your communication from a place of love, I'd love to work with you. Contact details in the description box below. Other than that, have a fantastic week. Bye, guys. Hey, those of you that have chosen the dark, I'll hold the card up for you, and it says, where there is dark, there must also be light. It is on its way. And, you know, just as I read that message, those of you that I'm connecting with, I feel that the light that you're looking for, or the answer that you're looking for, that's going to get you out of the dark, it is within you, but I feel that you're suppressing it. I feel that you're working around it. You're trying to find different options to an answer that already exists, that you don't feel comfortable with, that you don't want to accept. There's a painful truth with those that I'm connecting with here. And so, you would rather explore the darkness of the unknown, other avenues, other approaches to save a certain situation, or to embark on a new, to embark on something new and different that could potentially be quite scary for you. I feel that either way, there is some sort of a loss here. And that darkness that you're currently experiencing, that feeling, that darkness, that unknown, the fear associated with being in that space, is because there is going to be a loss of some sort, and it's going to be painful, and this is something that you're not ready to face. So let's have a look and see. Let's pull out a couple of cards and let's have a look and see what this is about. Oh, guys, this is about really closing off a cycle. This is about really letting go, allowing this transformation to take place, surrendering. This is very, very powerful. This is something that you cannot avoid. It is divinely timed. It is divinely guided. It is brought to you. It is part of your growth. It is part of your purpose and your soul's contract here. And resisting what you already know is only going to put you further and further, pull you down into the depths of the darkness. And there is this need to really allow this cycle to unfold, to surrender control of any sort. Surrender, I'm also sensing this feeling of being lost, really questioning yourself, really questioning your next motive, your next move. What's the best approach to get the outcome that you desperately want to get out of a certain situation? And what that's doing is it's really suffocating and really suppressing the core, basically your authenticity, what is true to you, your own values, your upholding your own standards, really leaving your own body in a bid to further understand the dynamics within someone else's environment, someone else's intentions, causing you to feel that the further away you move from that light within you, your own spark, your own spirit, the further away you move from it, the further away that light becomes, and you plunge yourself into that darkness. And so Spirit is saying, really surrender it, lean into it, trust yourself, trust that you have what it takes to turn around, face that light, remember who you are. And that light will become stronger and stronger, and things will become clearer and clearer for you. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's easy, but it's essential. Rather than prolonging something that is excruciating or painful, you know, what is it worth? Is it really worth losing yourself? Can we just take a higher vantage point here? Will you really lose who you are for whatever this is? Is it really worth, you know, what makes you you? How can you see this unfolding in the future when you've completely, you know, when you've completely put aside who you truly are to nurture something that goes against what is right for you? And so there is this desperate need for transformation to take place, for surrender, to allow this cycle to run its course. Let it do its thing. There is something coming for you, but you will not be able to receive this opportunity or see it when you're plunging yourself in that darkness. You know, let that light, look at this sky. The light is coming from within. It's bathing him. It's healing. It's healing. This heart space. Yeah, okay. Let's break this down a little bit more. Let's get some guidance on this for you guys. Told you it's coming. This beautiful, juicy new opportunity. This is what I like to see. This is what I like to see. Yeah, okay, cool. And you know what, for you guys, I want one more card. I want a surrender card for you. Give me a second. Sorry, that's a bit loud, I know. Sorry. Okay, so what I'm getting here, guys, is that, you know, I want you to imagine you're going up against a stream that is very, very strong, extremely strong, okay? And you're going up against this stream and you've got your paddles, but it's very, very difficult, very difficult. You're really, really being pushed to turn this boat around. The stream, the current is very difficult. You're battling it. You are trying to go against this flow. Drop the paddles. You don't need those paddles that you think are an essential part of you getting to this end goal. You're going to get to the goal that you desire. Okay, this goal that you want, it is waiting for you on the other side. It's on the other side of the stream. You're going the wrong way. Let it turn around. You may be so fixated on getting to this end goal, this new beginning, this beautiful, stable, abundant new beginning, taking this opportunity that you've been waiting for. You may be fixated on getting there through the means that you're currently in. You want it in this with a particular person or within a particular career, and that's all you see, and it shut you off from the other opportunities. Now let's say the situation you're in is a person that they're the paddles that you're using, but it's not right for you, and you're moving further and further away from this light that is within you, plunging yourself into the darkness, because all you can focus on is the movement that you're making to go up against this stream. Release. Release the paddles. Let the boat turn around. Let the stream take you. Relax into the flow of energy so that you can lift your head up and look around and take in the environment around you, the beauty of the environment around you. Let the boat lead you down the stream and take you where it needs to take you. And as you go on this path, you'll pick up so many different approaches that otherwise you can't see because you're so fixated. So, you know, this opportunity, it's still there. You can't see it. Remember, you can't see it because you're fixated on this, in this one area, on achieving this goal with this one person or in that one role. But if you drop those paddles, or you know, you can basically turn that around, take that blindfold off, and you can finally start to experience the possibility and feel that the possibility to achieve this end goal that you want does exist. And this is something long term. This is something substantial. It's something of value. It is something that you can produce in your physical realm. This is a dream come true. So whatever that is, it may not be with the current person or in the current situation. It may not even be right now. It could be for you later on down the track. But there is something that needs to be done before you can revive it, continue with it, or, you know, you may find that it's something that doesn't align with you anymore once you start to explore that path of going with the flow. Once you come closer and get closer to that inner light. Okay? And I feel that communication is key here. Maybe you've become really stubborn in a particular situation. Really think about what this end goal is and how that end goal makes you feel. And does the situation you're in right now feel the way it's supposed to? Because it is through the everyday things that help us reach these end goals. Now, if it doesn't feel good today, you know, if you're basing on it feeling good tomorrow can't feel better unless today is good, feels good, right? So that's the main thing, that approach, that perspective. Yeah, there is a need for this to be thought through, a need for it to be thought through, a different approach, taking a step back, releasing that fixation, being more analytical, being more objective, removing the desire for an outcome in a specific situation. Okay, so what do we need to surrender? What do we need to surrender to allow this to form? What do we need to surrender? Surrender to, oh my gosh. Now, come on. Don't you love it when this happens? Surrender to effortlessness. Stop pushing so hard. The art of living means going with the flow. Oh my gosh, I have got goosebumps. Instead of trying to force the river. Okay, I shit you not. Okay, I'm going to focus that so you can actually read the message. Thank you, Spirit, for sending such clear and accurate messages for those that need to hear this most. And if this reading resonates, guys, I have a strong feeling that this is for a particular group of people that are really resonating with this right now. If you'd like to continue working on getting out of this darkness and navigating through this transition, feel free to reach out to me. I would love to work with you. My contact details are in the description box below. Stop pushing so hard. The art of living means going with the flow instead of trying to force the river. I don't need to break this down anymore. This was just a beautiful finish to what I have already discussed, to what I've already brought to your attention. The possibilities, the opportunity, the dream, it's alive. It's a matter of direction. And the card here, it was flow. You know? Alright guys, I hope you found that helpful. Please do comment below. I love reading your stories. It helps me better connect with your energy and channel more accurate messages for you. Hopefully that truly resonate. I'll see you for your next lot of readings. Bye. So, thinking. Your mind is taking over. Ask your divine team to intervene. Okay. You know how sometimes we start off trying to figure something out and we have the answer. Let's say, let's call it a solution to a mathematical equation. We've got the answer, right? We pretty much know. And as we start to work through to break it down, to work through that, as we start to do our calculations, we can sometimes get lost and forget what it was that we first started thinking about to start off with. What led us to this point? When did this equation go so left field? When did this become so difficult? When did we get off track completely in our thinking, in our process? That's what this feels like. Those of you that I'm connecting with are finding it increasingly difficult to understand someone else's motives, and you're trying to figure it out, because that's what we do when we can't add, when 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2, or we try to fill in that gap and we create a potential equation or a potential story in the bid to make things make sense. But what happens when there is no sense to be made for us? What happens when someone else's motives aren't even clear to themselves? How can we come to a clear solution or an understanding of their motives when they don't even know why they do things? Because they've got their own traumas, because they've got their own fears, because they've got their own triggers that make them do things that don't match their energy, that don't match their effort, that don't match their words. And so it can be increasingly confusing, and you feel like pulling your hair out trying to decipher and decode someone's intentions, right? That's what I'm feeling, and I'm frustrated as I'm tuning into your energy. It's like you don't even freaking make sense. Are you hearing what you're saying? It's completely contradicting what you're doing, or it's completely contradicting what you said a week ago. How can I take this seriously? Where do I even stand? How can I stand on stable ground with you when 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2 with you, right? Oh my God, I've gone off on a rant. Okay. Settle down, Andrea. Settle down. So let's put, sorry guys, too many cards fell out, so I'm going to pop them back in the deck. And I just want 2 cards for you. There's one. Open up, my darlings, open up. Okay, holding back. So what I'm getting here is that there is a certain way of doing things that you are accustomed to, whether it has to do with your own belief system, whether it has to do with your faith, whether it has to do with certain you know, beliefs that you have, you know, you have grown into that have worked really well for you. Your perspective on how things should be, on how people should carry themselves, and those promises that we make to each other that are of value, that sustain relationships, that keep things honorable, that keep things loyal, that keep things honest. Okay, so there is this approach, and these are part of your core morals and values. And at this time, something has come into your life, a person has come into your life, because I feel that this is specific to a person, that has really caused you to take a step back from certain beliefs and question them. It's made you think about how much you've evolved or have lacked the ability to evolve because these beliefs have put a lid on your growth. There is this element of expansion here and of real growth, really opening up. You know, this belief that you have had may have been the key to, this belief, that you have had up until this point may have been the way you led all your relationships. And there were certain deal breakers that you know, when these morals weren't respected or weren't aligning with someone else, it was easy for you to say, nope, that's a deal breaker. I can't continue in this friendship, in this relationship. However, when it comes to this person, I feel that they've made you see that, you know, maybe it's potentially time for me to open up to a new way of thinking. That does not mean that I have to surrender or give up my morals. It just means that I need to be more flexible with the way I do things, keeping my morals front and center, but being a little bit more flexible, which will allow further growth. My morals can take the lead, but it is my approach that may potentially need to change, because things are changing for me. I'm changing, yet my approach hasn't been. And maybe it's time for me to change my approach. And so you're trying to approach this situation with an old way of thinking, an outdated, not belief, an outdated way of thinking, and it's not aligning with this new frequency or this new energy you're trying to step into, this new cycle, this updated version of yourself, and it's causing you a lot of distress. If this was a real deal breaker, you would have been gone by now, but you can see the value in something. It is the belief or the approach that is not working the way it usually would. And so there needs to be a step back. This is what I'm feeling, to take a really big step back, to think about what really matters to you, what what really matters to you, and do those things really matter to that person? Are there any real deal breakers here? Or is it a matter of the logistics here that are at play that aren't aligning? Because if it's in the logistics, then maybe we need to open up to a new approach, and we need to take action, and take action and take the lead on a new plan of attack. Surrender to a new way, to a new approach, to allow yourself to release from any fears, or any, I would say fears that have to do from past experiences that have caused you to only approach things in a particular way so that you feel safe. It's time to allow yourself to trust yourself that you have learnt, from those lessons. You've worked on healing them, and these outdated approaches are no longer serving you. It is time for a new way of approaching things, because they're keeping a lid on the opportunities that are coming your way for further growth, whether that be in relationship, forming deeper, intimate connections, really kicking things off the ground, taking the next level, calling in and manifesting whatever it is that your heart desires, right? So let's break this down a little bit further. If this does resonate, if it sounds like you and you're really having difficulty finding this new approach, trusting yourself, trusting the process, feeling safe and secure in making those decisions to release and take that lid off and trust yourself, and you'd like to work through that, feel free to reach out for a session with me. My contact details are in the description box below, and we can work together on creating working through those logistics, new approaches with the foundation of your morals, let's say, right? Okay, every single one that I've done has come up with the Page of Swords. Every single one. And this is about, you know, you're so much in your headspace. This person here has an idea. I have an idea. I know I want to start something new. I know I want to start something different. I'm watching this space. I'm paying attention. I'm watching you, but I'm still in analytical mode. This is a calling, and I always read from left to right. For some reason, I'm being drawn to read, really bizarre, from right to left. Completely different direction. And this is what I'm feeling for you. You're looking the opposite way to the way that's going to take you to receiving equally, to reciprocating, giving and receiving. See, these people are taking. Yeah, these people are taking. So what I'm getting for you is facing the other direction, taking control, leaving certain things behind, approaching things from this different perspective. And I bet as I'm saying that, a few different perspectives come to mind, guys. A few different approaches feel right to you, but because of fear or because of the approach you've usually taken that's proven to be safe, you don't venture out that way. Spirit is saying, drop out, let your energy come, drop out of the headspace and into your, let's say, your solar plexus area, your sacral. Working with the sacral and the solar plexus right now will be really helpful. So you can find a lot of guided meditations or frequency music on YouTube on how to do that, but really working in that space of your ability that you can, and you can do that from your place of passion on what feels right, will take you in the direction that you need to go so that you can start receiving, because for some reason you haven't been receiving. This is a game changer. This new approach is a game changer. And I know those of you that are resonating with this get what that's about. Yeah, you may not see, you're stuck and you're definitely indecisive. You know what you want, you know the outcome you want, but things are not adding up. And it's truly about facing in a different direction. I'm just going to start repeating myself now, so I'll stop. So That's the key here. Taking the step in the different way. It feels counterintuitive to some degree, but it also feels right. And as you take that step, you'll start to release yourself from this overthinking. You'll allow the energy to drop out of your head and into your body and take steps towards what feels right, rather than getting caught up in what should my next best move be? Where do I even start? Just start with what feels right. And the only way you can understand what feels right, or the only way you'll know what feels right, is by dropping into your space of feeling and out of the space of analyzing and thinking about what feels right. Okay, hope you guys found that helpful. Please do comment below. I love reading your comments. It helps me better connect with your energy. I hope you guys have a fantastic week. Bye.